Okay, and I guess this uke, who wants to be uke?
Well, it's one of two people.
Thomas or no, we got three people here. We got to start too. So start. Jack, why don't you be uke here, even though this technique isn't going to work too well. So here. Okay. He's going to grab.
Which one is this?
657.
57, which is shoulder lock, throat attack. Okay. Grab my lapel. Okay. Technique is I'm going to grab his right lapel with my right. Okay. I'm going to pull him across. No, don't lean him. I'm going to pull him across in front of me. This is the right lapel. You're right. It doesn't matter what you're grabbing. I'm just trying to figure the logic of this, because I would not, if you're grabbing me with your right hand, I'm trying to do this and get behind you, is not going to work, because his arm and elbow is in the way. Okay. What does the technique say? What
It says grab the attacker's right lapel with your right hand.
Okay.
Pull his lapel to your right as you step to your left, so that his back is facing you.
Okay, so if I pull him to my left, he's still in the way.
Yeah.
Because you may want to knee him in the stomach before you step around.
Yeah, the
But
arm
And
is
then
still,
your left
the
arm
arm is
goes
still,
There's something about that grip on
the arm is still in the way, and that may be why someone submitted it,
Yeah.
because how do you take this arm, this is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
How do you take this arm off or get it out of the way?
What are you supposed to end up with?
I'm supposed to end up pulling him behind, reaching around, under, coming up.
Well, if you, go back to where you started, and then with your left hand, if you push down, like his forearm and elbow to push it in,
How about, okay,
uh,
how about if I grab his left lapel and pull him around, roll right to his left? No, that's still not gonna help. Okay, what's your suggestion?
well, go back to, you're supposed to grab with your right.
Right.
So with your left hand, right, just about his side of his elbow and forearm, push that in.
Okay, but if he holds,
I'm just
yeah,
I'm
that's
just wondering,
okay.
well,
That may be what needs, if he's not gonna say that, if
he gets the arm out.
okay, if he continues to hold, okay, I'm not gonna assume he's if. Take your left hand on the outside of his elbow
Push that through.
and push it across in front of you as you pull him towards you. And then I get rid
But
of it.
yeah, but then, now what are you gonna do? That's the question.
Well, he's at the point now
Okay,
where
if
he can almost
he,
reach around.
here with me. Okay. If we push and then step, now I can get behind it. But I've got to push and then pull. Okay, now I can get behind him with this hand. Don't just let me move it. Bring it up to here. And theoretically, what I'm supposed to be able to do is reach up high enough to get his hair, which isn't going to happen. Pull his head back, and then hit him with my right. This technique is not going to work.
It has a couple of flaws.
It has some flaws. Okay, so is there a fix?
Well, we might have to change the attack instead of a lapel grab.
Make it a
Attempted lapel grab?
attempted lapel grab or a hit. If he's coming in here, pull him across. And
You
reach
solved
out.
an arm issue, but,
Solves the arm issue, so make it attempted lapel grab or hit,
or reach,
or reach, yeah. Okay, and
And
then,
then instead of trying to grab hair, just grab his collar.
well, I can grab his, collar would be fine. But I've got to be able to come in and attack his throat, so the only way I'd be able to do it would be this way. I can't come in with a hit or anything like that.
Just to grab.
Or I can grab, or I can come in over here. Now that won't work.
Yeah, so at the end, it shouldn't be a hit, it should be a nerve or something with
Yeah,
the throat
you've got
or.
good pulse. That's a big attack. That's nice to know. So why don't we make it, okay, it's going to be an attempted reach or grab. We're going to knock this across with my wrong hand. Okay, okay. He comes in, knock it across, reach in, pull. Okay, step behind, reach with my left hand, bring it up, grab material or whatever you can get, hair, collar, nerves in his shoulder. Okay, pull him back, and then, see, then it becomes a shokuwaza. Okay. Still have a good pulse. Okay, so you want to
Yeah, well,
rewrite it?
rewrite it.
Yeah. Okay, do we need to do that one again, or
No, I think that last one was good.
think we got
Yeah,
it?
the last one is the one that's gonna be a little quicker.
The last, yes, a little bit. Okay. Next one. Occasionally we do cross these out. Okay. 669, arm lock, rear throw, ude kurama, kuruma ushiro, hip or attempted lapel. Block his right to your right with your right. Continue to block in a clockwise circle, bringing his arm up into a rear arm lock. Step your left foot slightly to your left. Grab here. Okay, someone's gonna have to walk me through the second part. The rest of it. Okay. So it's going to be an attempted hit. I'm gonna block, come around behind. I think I'm coming around behind him, or at least to his left. Bringing this up into an arm lock. Am I bringing it up into, did it say bring it into an arm lock?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, where do I go from here?
Step with your left foot forward slightly. Your left hand grabs hair or the left, on the left rear side of his head. Pull his hair or ear, or left shoulder back as you pivot your left leg back into a counterclockwise circle. Always away from the attacker. Let the arm lock slip to avoid injury to yourself at this point, but keep your arm partially entwined with his. Once he's down, go into an arm bar submit, setting a figure 4 arm bar with your left hand, clamping onto his shoulder, and your right hand clamping onto his left forearm. Lean back, turn to your right if necessary to execute.
That's confusing. Okay, we're gonna start out a little further. We're gonna start from the other this side, because otherwise we'll dance the wall. Okay, so he's coming in for a hit. We're gonna block, come around behind, grab shoulder. Okay, I'm going to bring him around and put him down,
And set an arm.
and then set an arm lock. Ah,
That seems.
Okay,
clear enough to me.
That's a wordy way of explaining it.
okay, then cut the wordiness out of it.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, because I will admit, sometimes when you say too much, you confuse things.
Because it looks right, it's just, it's all words.
Right, correct. Yeah, I don't want to, if I'm saying right here, I should be saying correct, because otherwise you'll confuse right with left.
Yeah, we have enough rights.
Or write more.
Or you're right more, W-R-I-T-E.
So do that once more from the other angle?
On the other side?
Just different side, yeah.
Okay, let's do it this way. Here, he comes in from the way, around, come down. I'm gonna take him down here, and set an arm.
And then the last part is lean back, turning to your right if necessary to execute the
Yeah.
submit.
Now, instead of saying leaning right, lean back, thrust hips in. Because that'll cause you to lean back.
Okay.
Okay, because that's what I don't have my students pull up on anything anymore. It's just bring your hips in and everything else will work. Okay, that was a simple one. Okay, next one, thumb lock forward throw. Might not be reverse or pin on ground. Okay. The attacker's knees are on your upper arms and his hands are holding your hands down at the wrist. Okay. Surprisingly, this is a technique that you have to do, have your students do carefully. And if they do it full board, this is from Hal Grosh's Katsugo. This is a technique that was used by a girl who was, guy attempted to rape her in bed, broke into the house, yada, yada, yada. And she had a window above her head of her bed, and she did this technique. Now the person is not gonna go far, maybe 2 or 3 feet, but his upper body went through the window, and the glass killed him. It's the last attempted rape that he ever did. And
It's called instant justice.
Good riddance.
it really upset the girl, because she had no idea that, I mean, you know, had he hit the wall, that would have been okay, you know, but. Anyway, so this is the technique. And you may want to once zoom in on what the hands are doing. Okay, let me read this here so I make sure I have it. Okay, you have to keep open. Also, let's just do this thing. Okay, I'm gonna lie down. You're gonna sit on top of me, arms, knees on my arms, hold my hands. Now, I don't know what a guy can do to rape a girl from this position.
I can't even keep my balance in this position.
Okay, all I'm gonna do is, number one, make sure your head is turned sideways to protect your nose. Okay, my nose, I'm not worried about your nose. Okay. I'm going to bring my hands down.
That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. Now, if it has happened that fast, folks, I'm sorry. What you are doing, we're going to try to do this slowly, so you can balance yourself a little more better. Okay. I'm going to go on the right side here. On the right side. Had a muscle cramp. Killer. Okay, try this again. Okay. Okay, don't push down so hard on the right side. Just do it. Okay, just
I can, just behind your head.
yeah, put it there. Yeah, put it down. Show it goes on the right hand, right hand. That's it. Okay. Do not try and lift the hand up. You're going to slide it. Okay. Once you get to this point, if he's holding on, you can lock his thumbs, and you can do 2 things. One, you're going to bring your hand up, and if you want to, you can bring both your feet up and thrust at the same time. Okay. Bring your feet as close in as possible. Thrust up with your butt.
Now, do you bring both hands
Yeah.
down?
Both hands down, up like that.
Okay.
But do not lift them off. Once you get to here,
Right.
you're going to notice he's going to start going, because his wrists and thumb are locked up.
He also was supporting himself from.
There's nothing to
You
support
take away
you.
his support. Once you
Support
sense,
your butt.
once you sense him starting to lighten up, that's when you lift up. Because otherwise he's going to let go and reset his hands. Okay.
And you do, just for comment, you do the exact same technique even if he's not holding your hands down. If he's kneeling on your arms like that to pin you down and getting ready to hit, you do the exact same
Yeah,
technique.
you do the same thing. Yeah.
Exact same technique. Just it works.
And if the person doesn't have their knees on your arms and they're holding your hands down, you can do the exact same thing. And that technique is gonna work.
I teach that exact technique with a slight variation. Instead of both arms coming down, it's one up, one down, and it causes the
Yeah.
person to rotate.
Right. You could do that too. This is just how Gross has taught it.
Okay.
Because the idea was to cause the,
Right.
is cause the person to impact their head into whatever wall they're.
Right.
Yeah, and also, I've actually done it myself, where I drop both hands at the same time, and I got a headbutt. Because they
That's
went
too-
straight forward, and he says when you do one, they tend to go to one side.
Right.
or the
Right,
other.
they'll roll one side, whichever side you
Well,
want.
that's why I say, he said, turn your head sideways, because
Yeah.
if he rolls over you low, slide, you don't want your nose in the middle of your forehead.
Yeah, right.
So that was
And
that.
I found out why, because I, right there.
He blows his nose down high now.
Need a handle.
Okay. We're handle,
Okay.
okay, 831. Okay, side rear wrist lock takedown, a Kubi, should not be overhead club,
Oh,
et
well,
cetera.
now we need an overhead club.
But we got plenty. Okay.
You want me to get one? Give me one.
Yeah, if you get one. Side wrist lock takedown, block is hit. Oh, it's 831. Let's move back a little bit. Block is hit to your left. That's where it hit. Oh, 831 Kirby, that's about 834.
Maybe it's the
Okay.
corks it problem.
Okay, that's,
I've never heard
let's
that.
change sides so it will be on video. Okay, he's going to come in, going to overhead club, going to block, going to cork it, okay.
That's cork.
I'm supposed to cork it, correct?
I don't know, other than wine, I don't know what corking it means.
But it also says bend his hand inward as for a wrist lock. Before you even do that. It says, as you bring his arm down to your right, bend his hand inward as for a wrist lock.
Okay,
Well, that was after it.
Oh yeah, the whole sentence says as you bring your arm down to the right, bend his hand inward. As for a wrist lock, your left hand grabs his right wrist and corks it.
Okay,
okay, I corked it, okay.
I know exactly what the technique
Okay,
is.
what's the next sentence?
As you finish the cork, your left hand lets go and hooks around the backside of his wrist, setting a forearm wrist lock. Turn into the attacker counterclockwise and turn his wrist slowly down slowly.
Well, that
Okay, grab
was-
You're lost. Okay, let's go, read me what it says.
Okay, it says, cross block the overhead. As you bring his arm down to your right, it's your right, bend his hand inward as for a wrist lock. Your left hand grabs his right wrist and corks it. As you finish the cork, your left hand lets go. Left hand lets go. Left hand lets go.
The other left
And
hand.
hooks around the backside of his wrist, setting a forearm wrist lock. There you go. Turn into the attacker counterclockwise to his left. Turn his wrist downward slowly.
You better go.
Am I going down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
Do a forward roll. Do a
Oh,
forward
forward.
roll. Do a forward roll. There you go.
Now what?
You're done.
That's it.
But he's out of it.
Well, I think once you get him in that position, you're just going to,
Yeah, you're just
I mean,
gonna.
he's not gonna roll.
Okay.
Yeah, the forward roll was that wasn't in.
Okay,
Before you go on, I don't understand the term, I understand corkscrew in a very specific term. When you say cork it, what does that mean?
I
yeah, I've
think-
never
I think-
heard that used in a.
Garuna.
I think what we're saying here is you get cross block, you're gonna bring, and as you're bringing it down, your right hand is gonna slide down to the back of his hand, bending it inward. Left hand is going to grab. Okay, I'm going to bring this down, and this is the cork, so to speak,
The winding?
the wind.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, now from here, left hand, let's go. I would just bring this down toward me real fast.
Yeah. I think
And that's gonna be
probably-
the,
Yeah,
don't worry, I wouldn't do that to you. You have to take a black belt test. After you take the test, then we'll break your wrist.
but, yeah, so I would say, you know, pivot under his arm as for a corkscrew.
Fine,
Rather
yeah,
than-
whatever, whatever makes
Rather
sense.
than
I'm not,
cork it,
Yeah,
cork
I'm
it, I would say, what is that, a misspelling or
Okay.
something? I
Yeah,
don't
So
know.
could you walk through it again?
yeah,
That's the way Mandavi does
And,
it.
and
They put the cork in.
verbalize what you're doing.
okay. I fixed my gi.
Yeah, very important. You gotta look good when you're doing it.
Cross block. I'm going to bring it down to my right. As I bring it down to my right hand is going to slip onto the back of his right hand, bending it. My left
Well,
hand,
I think you can leave your left hand where it was,
Yes.
as you
Bring it
come
down
on
here.
now grab it.
I'm going to bring it down further. I'm going to grab his lower forearm with my left hand. I'm going to pivot under the attacker, keeping his wrist bent. Once I get behind him, my left hand lets go, goes under and
Sets the
over
block.
his hand, and the technique is completed by just a quick pull down, or whatever you want to call it, and you're done.
Snap.
Well, your left, the way you have it set, the left arm is up under his elbow, which
Yes, left arm
also
is-
puts
yeah.
pressure.
I'm not really trying to do anything with the arm, I'm after the wrist joint.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But it helps by locking the elbow as
Right.
well.
And we want to step forward towards Mark, so we can see how it is from this view. Okay, and that's where we're supposed to end up.
Could you do it again facing the other way so that you see the first part on the film?
Okay. He's here, cow, gonna bring it down, grab, and grab. Okay, are we finished the technique?
Yeah, go ahead.
Come around, under here, hook on. Okay, and for those of you who bring this down here, come around to this side for a resistance to a hand throw. It's the exact same technique, but it's being done with the other, from the other side. That's just worthless trivia for you guys that are here, in case you didn't make the connection or it's too early in the morning. Okay, okay, let's go.
Go back to the handbook.
Go back to the handbook. That needs a big handbook. Okay. Hurt somebody with this stuff. Okay. We are doing arm lock, shoulder takedown for a hit. Okay, I am having difficulty with this technique on the left-right issue. Okay, so let me show it as, I guess it's being described. And as he's coming in with a hit, I'm blocking, coming around underneath so far. Okay, what does it say after you hooked under his arm?
Just above his elbow, come up behind it, thus causing the attacker to bend his arm at the elbow. Your left hand slides to the center of the hanbo to allow this to happen. Your left hand should be against his forearm once this portion of the technique is done.
You're locking over the top.
Yeah, you need to turn more.
Take your left hand.
no, the other way.
Take your left hand and grab the handle on the back side, and slide down
See, the
again,
problem is,
and slide down against his arm, like that. That's the way I perceive it. Is that how you perceive it?
Yeah, that seems to be what it's.
Okay, now my question is this the right way it's to be done? Or, if it's supposed to be done, that's what I said, the left-right issue.
Yeah, that's how I would do it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, is a left-right issue here.
Okay.
Well,
Maybe-
you might want to see what goes on next, because you're only halfway through.
Okay,
Your right hand,
Your left
Let's-
hand's on top, at least based on the way it was written. That's how it is written so far.
Okay.
your right hand lets go of the right end of the hanbo and grabs the left end.
okay, I need to start over. Okay, poor baby, you can smooth this one, okay, we'll just get it closer.
Oh, you're good.
Okay, here, down, under, grab, slide down.
Your right hand lets go of the right end of the hanbo and grabs the left end. You may want to change how your left hand is holding the hanbo at this point. Bring the left end of the hanbo down in a clockwise circle as you pivot your right foot back to bring the attacker down onto his stomach.
Maybe do this slowly, step out of your shoulder, and you have to take the test.
Push down with either end of the hanbo to submit, or your knee can rest on the hanbo to complete the submission.
I don't have any, I know I don't have anything here.
And wouldn't his arm fly out if you're,
Yeah, it looked like he might lose,
Yeah.
It's when he lets go with his left hand, and
well, even just coming in though, the way
well, this
it's
is
written.
another one that's supposed to be on the tape, so you can
Look on the tape.
tape, see
Yeah.
where the
Is it on the
conflict
tape?
is.
Okay, look, yeah.
all right, so I'll just
C7
describe what's on the tape.
See, describe what's on the tape. Okay, we don't have to fool around with
834.
it. We did.
No, we did 831.
With your handle, I would just take his knee out and be done.
834.
You didn't get him off, you just,
It's a
834.
side wrist lock
Hit him right in the
takedown.
thigh, you know how I
From
kick
the
with the
hip.
thigh?
yeah.
The stick right in the thigh?
Okay.
Lock is
Nobody
hit
wants
to
to
your
run
left
with a stick,
with
right?
your left up forearm. Your right hand hooks around his hand from on top and grabs his hand as for a regular wrist lock takedown, Shiniwaza. Turn his hand clockwise so that his palm is up. Your left forearm, the outside, rests on his upper arm. Press down with your left knife edge as his upper arm, on his upper arm, as you hold on the side wrist lock. You may step forwards, backwards, or stay in place to execute the takedown.
Okay, that's not rocket science.
That one's
I don't see a
real
problem.
simple compared
It's
to
very,
what we have.
Observed an easy one
This
there.
is just, okay, easier, top, grab hold, on top, and down.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Got it.
that was simple. Okay, next one, we might actually get one more in here.
Forearm lock takedown duty, if from a hit or a high straight knife thrust, let's do it from a hit.
What's the technique number?
Booty tataki, oh, 836.
Okay,
Your left forearm deflects his right arm to your right. Your right forearm comes to the inside of his forearm. Your left hand, knife edge, pushes down on his elbow as your right forearm on the inside of his forearm also pulls it.
okay, what's the name of the technique?
Udi tataki.
Is it how, here? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, also pulls you. It does the same. But so far, you're right. Both of your palms are facing you with the right one on top. Pull his elbow down into you with your right forearm, which is against the inside of his forearm. As you step back with your right
Okay, I
foot,
know what's going on. Okay, I need to know I know what's going on. This is dirt simple. Lock, come in.
Okay.
Am I right?
well, at the very end, it says, push down on his shoulder with your left knife edge to finish bringing the attacker down to the ground,
That's
or
what you
use
did.
other grab or technique with your left hand.
You don't.
That's what you did.
What?
But you pivoted back. Yeah,
I
it's fine.
pivoted back.
Okay.
So it's basically block, come up.
Yeah, I think that's where the confusion
Yeah.
is, because in reading that, I would have not,
What-
I would have not gotten that.
Yeah.
So you just need to say in there, cross your
Right,
arms.
well, like I said many times before, the more complex, and it's me, the more complex the explanation, the simpler the technique.
What foot did it say to pivot back with?
The left foot.
I thought,
No, left leg.
I thought I heard right though, in the technique wording.
Yeah, step back with your
Your
right.
right foot.
Okay, if I step back with my right foot, here, then he's gonna come to me.
And there's how you push down to get him all the way down.
Right, that's why you need.
Okay,
I would just soon pivot my left foot back.
Agreed,
I think it's a lot easier.
but that's the one on the sort of.
I know.
Yeah.
So we can change it.
so we can create two techniques?
Yeah.
So you
Step
want
back
that
with your
left-
right, or
you
step
want
back
step
with your
back?
left? We come up with two.
Okay, we can have the step back with the right, or we can make it another one by pivoting the left
You could
foot.
say, or
Or,
pivot, or
Yeah.
step backward.
So let's do it again both ways.
okay, one is cross here, step back down,
Okay.
or cross, trap,
Step back with the other foot.
and this is a trap, the next trap.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right, well, but it
Okay,
doesn't say.
yeah, and step back and down. Okay,
Because what I was reading,
Yeah.
what I was reading on that is that you would have ended up with this. This one catching here,
Yeah.
this one pulling in, and this one knife edge on
This is yours.
the.
Yeah,
That's what I was
yeah,
looking at.
and if you
So
step-
kinda how do you
Yeah.
go from there?
how do you go from there? Yeah, okay.
So this is, cross your, cross,